So people freaking out always makes me laugh. And that goes, I'm very analytical, kind of like Spock at times. I always tell my kids, never make a really emotional decision in life. Like when your emotions are at the highest. You're going to have emotions in life, and that's a good thing. But that decision making shouldn't be at its like highest point when you make that decision. I'm not talking about if somebody proposes to you or you propose to somebody. I'm talking about just the emotion side of things. This goes for everything. And I love watching people freak out over politics because I like psychology of human beings. I find them fascinating. I find people fascinating. And seeing people like just lose their mind because of Doge or celebrate because of Doge or Elon or something. And to me, it's super fascinating because I don't know how it's going to turn out to you. No, nobody does. No, it's going to be perfect. It's going to be the greatest thing of all time, or it's going to be the worst thing ever in the history of mankind. Is it? I don't know. Do I think it's going to be? I think it's going to be good. But see, life, and much like politics, it's not a zero-sum game. You're going to we've gotten to the point now where it used to be balls and strikes in life, right? That's a ball, that's a strike. I mean, maybe you get a hit here and there. Now, every pitch is a win-loss. And that's not a healthy way to be. I just want to point that out. None of that is healthy. And I say that because I have people out there that follow me that I've known for a long time that are Democrats who they swear that this is it. Like they wake up every day thinking, this may be the last day ever. They're going to come get me. Like, what? First of all, what? And you have to talk to them, like people I know for a long time who are just think that this is the end of the world. And I'm like, you do realize that nothing's really happened, right? And they're like, no, it's all happened. I said, no, it's not. So these are all things that they would like to see happen. These are things they're trying, but a lot of this is going to be sorted out through the court. A lot of this is going to be challenged over and over. And I remind everybody, there's a great Chinese parable. Oh, the Chinese? Yes, a great parable. It's about the farmer. And I don't know if you guys have ever heard this before. So there's a wise farmer in a village. He's coming home one day and his horse runs away. And the people in the village are like, oh, so sorry about your horse running away. And he goes, it's a horrible thing. And he goes, we'll see. And then within a week, the horse comes back. It's got several other wild horses with him. And they're like, oh, how great is this? Your horse came back and look at all the wild horses you got. This is great for you, right? He goes, we'll see. His son tries to break one of the horses. While doing that, he falls off, shatters his arm. He can't do anything. And everybody's like, so sad about your son and all that's happened to him. This is horrible for you. And he goes, we'll see. Military shows up, says there's a great war coming. We need all the healthy men. And your son can't go, though, because of his arm. And everybody's like, how lucky are you? And he goes, we'll see. And the point is, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't. Everybody jumps to conclusions and looks at a headline, sees something, and thinks it's the greatest thing of all. And that's not true. We have no idea what this is going to look like. Do I think that they're going to get some stuff done with Doge? Yeah. Do I think some people are going to be disappointed because it isn't going to be as much? And we're going to find out the bureaucracy in courts are going to kick up a lot of dust in certain areas? Yeah, I think that's possible too. Do I think that it overall will be good? But it's not a zero-sum win-loss, everything that says goes. But no matter what side you're on, the fact that we have people nowadays who live, eat, and breathe politics and the ups and the downs, and they take it with them and they identify, and they never get to the point where they're, we'll see. So when people ask me, and I get tweeted stuff all day, I get DM stuff all day about, what do you think of this? Or what do you think of that? And look what's going on. And I'll go, is that true? Well, it could be. Well, then we'll see. Because that's the best thing that you can say. Because that's the only thing you know. But I'm at the point now where when I talk to people on both sides of the aisle, it's like a basketball game. The game tips off, somebody makes a bucket, and everybody's like, oh, the game's over. We've won. Except for the other 47 and a half minutes we still have to play. There is no we'll see. I want them to be successful, and I think they are. I think what they're doing, and the Doge in particular, is awesome. I think the exposure is incredible. And by the way, it's actually bearing out. This is Frank Luntz. He's one of the great pollsters that's out there who's not insane. He was on CNN surprising everybody the other day or yesterday, talking about the numbers of support for Trump. And these are people that are Democrats who voted elsewhere in the past, but got sick and tired of where things were.
Speaking with a number of voters who were Hillary Clinton 2016, Joe Biden 2020, and then went for Trump in 2024. How are these folks seeing the early days of Trump's second term?
Pretty well.
Really?
And they're reacting to it because they love the pace of change. They were very fed up over the last 4 years. They wanted action. They wanted results. They looked at prices. They looked at affordability, looked at immigration, and they didn't see anything happening. They still don't like what he says, but they like what he does. And these are Democrats now.
Democrats. And one of the things I've always said is I'm an action person. I don't care what you say. What is your action? You could promise me the world, ladies. How many guys have promised you the world and delivered you nothing? Plenty, I'm sure. And vice versa. And how many people have been obnoxious and not been all that, but yet they follow through in the things that they're supposed to do? Actions are the most important things, but we have gotten lost in a world of headlines only. And that's all that happens. The reality and the outcome of whatever is that was put in place, that doesn't matter. All that matters is what somebody said, what somebody tweeted, and the reaction to that. A lot of people are happy about what they're doing. Are they thrilled by his attitude? And no. But so what? I don't care. I've known a lot of people I've worked with a lot of people in life who were awful to work with, who I didn't like who they were as a people. They taught me a lot, and they were great when the job was jobbing, if you will. But they were awful in between. Not saying Trump is. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, he promised to do a bunch of stuff, and he's doing it. And he knows not everything's going to stick. He understands that. But you know what? He said, I'm doing this, and here we go.
These are Democrats now who felt that they were not securing the border. They were doing nothing to prevent illegal immigration, that nothing was actually happening. They wanted to see a reduction in wasteful Washington spending, and they're seeing that. So what they tell me is, I wish you'd be a little bit less rude, but at the same time, they like what he's doing. They believe he's serious about it. And for the first time, they have confidence in the future, which is why you now see some significant shifts in the polling about the expectations for the direction in the coming years.
They don't like what's happening because there's no control and it makes them uncomfortable. They don't like what's happening because the things that they enjoy, which is a certain level of stability that they see, this is unstable. But it's not unstable. Again, we have our guardrails there. All of this stuff is happening within a certain area. And Trump can tweet anything he wants about being Napoleon Bonaparte, but it doesn't make him so. And he also knows how to troll better than anybody else out there. Let's be real. In the political world, he knows that every little thing he says is going to get a reaction. And that's what he goes for. But it's still about the actions. And it's still about getting things done. People look at politics, in particular the federal side of it, as a boring, glacial kind of thing where even common sense gets in the way of doing something, and they got frustrated with it, especially when it came to things like immigration, where everybody could see what was going on. Everybody understood what was going on. And yet they lied to you. Same thing, even as something as little as the trans issue when it came to sports. Are there a ton of boys playing in girls' sports? No. But it wasn't about that. It was about the fact that they were telling you that you had to accept this or else. And what ends up happening? The media gets behind them, but the average person goes, yeah, common sense says no. And Trump brings back that common sense, and he does it in sometimes an uncouth manner.
It's a big wake-up call for Democrats.
I'm waiting for them to get a message. I'm waiting for them to unify and to understand that to oppose and to be the resistance, which is what some of them use that phrase, that's not what Democrats in grassroots areas want from them. They may not want the approach that Trump is doing, President Trump. By the way, I now know to say President Trump. But they do want action, and they don't see action from the Democrats.
No. Because what they got was a lot of lip service. What they got was politics. What they got was somebody who would come out and use the politically astute and kind words. They would speak in a manner that many people were used to. They would treat the things in the political world the way they're supposed to. Very much like, yes, use the fork on this hand and the soup over here. Never had this fork before. And Trump comes in and he goes, I'm just going to eat everything with a spoon. And they didn't like that. But while all this is going on, action is the only thing that matters. So do I think this is going to turn out? Well, yes. Do I think it's a zero-sum game? No. Do I think that we're going to get 60 or 70% of things that I think a vast majority of Americans want to see done, and in some cases not done the way we want, but exposed enough that it's going to be tough in the future? 100% on that one. But before anybody decides they're moving to wherever they think they're moving to, that, by the way, nobody wants you. Before that happens, well, unless you got a lot of money, by the way, you can move anywhere if you got a lot of money. But if you don't got a lot of money, you're pretty much stuck where you are. Before you decide you're going to move, take a deep breath and think, we'll see. Let it play itself out. Because I bet you'd be surprised. And just like with climate change, a year from now, you won't have been locked up. You'll still be alive. And you'll have moved on from the, oh my God, Trump and Elon are going to take over the world and put me in a cage.